A very good evening. Oh, lovely.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Is your name Yoga?
That's right.
Ah, lovely. So you practice what you're called?
I'm supposed to.
Decimals करो.
Awesome.
Basic सिखाया decimals.
Bashira, Agravat,
Decimals के basic तुमको समझ में आया? ठीक है? वो उसमें मुझे कुछ बोलना है. अब जैसे 1/10. उसे वो 0.1. हाँ, ठीक है?
कौन पढ़ा रहा है? Some teaching is going on somewhere. Why all the names are coming as Mahima?
Good evening to all dear lovely participants.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, there's some technical error. Can you all just rename yourself in the Zoom?
मैं कोई बीएड कॉलेज हूँ.
फिर उसको रीनेम.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you all just rename and then we start? Mahima Nair is seen in your profile.
Screen.
Yeah, in your screen.
Okay. Meanwhile, can I know a little bit about the participants? Who are they? We are a cute number of, I think, how many? 15 people. So there'll be a lot of interaction, and get ready for that. You all are lucky that few have registered and you can take all the benefit out of it. Agravat Prakash, let me start with you. Could you please introduce yourself? Parent, teacher, who are you?
Good evening, ma'am. Myself in Prakash Agrawat. I'm from Gujarat in Rajkot, and I'm a special educator and child and parent counseling, and work with CwSN in the 15 years work with.
Government school?
Yeah, no, ma'am. Recently now I'm working in the CBSE school, and then first I'm the NGO based.
Oh, okay, wonderful, wonderful. I can't get others. Okay, Jasmine has attended my previous workshops also, right, Jasmine? This is your second or third workshop with me? Your mic.
Ma'am, second workshop.
Second workshop. Okay, Mubashira, how about you? You're the first time, I think.
Yes, I'm first time.
You're
I
a
just
parent, teacher?
attended Uber. I'm a parent and teacher too. Worked
Okay.
for 12 years.
Okay.
I'm from Hyderabad. Worked in Vidyanjali School, Hyderabad, Amirpet.
Okay, great. I have Smita Jaikar. How about Yoga? Yoga, please tell about yourself.
Namaskar, ma'am. I am a parent of a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. In my earlier avatar, I was a journalist, but now
Journalist?
I'm working. That's right, but I'm at home now because my kids are too young.
Okay.
Yes.
What
Thank
brings
you.
you to a workshop like this?
My daughter has been detected with speech and language delay, and she's in nursery, and now I find some issues with her learning. She had learning difficulties as well. So I thought, as a parent, I will educate myself about it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great. I think there's some error, some problem that all names are coming as Mahima. So whatever I get, I just read out. Shefali Saxena.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. I'm
Good evening.
Shefali. I'm from Allahabad, and I'm a teacher of kindergarten. I'm
Okay.
working with these little ones from last 10 years, but still I need the know much more, go into the
Updates.
depth of phonics. So
Yes.
that's why I have joined the webinar.
Yes. Smita. Okay. Aditi, Kevin.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening. Can I know your name, because on the screen it's still coming as Mahima. Could I know your name?
I'm Kevin, ma'am.
Okay, you're Kevin. So there's another Kevin Nito. That's you?
Yeah, I've logged in on my PC and on my mobile, ma'am, because there's some audio issue on my PC.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm present in Bangalore, ma'am. I've completed my special education training and I'm just going to start working, ma'am.
Okay.
Earlier, I was
Special education
into
what?
fashion. ID, ma'am. Intellectual disability.
Intellectual disability. Okay. Okay. So, and what about you, Agravat? What special education have you done?
ID, ma'am.
ID. Okay. You know, there's a general misconception that our schools have. In fact, the conception that our schools have is any teacher who has done special education should be able to help any special child. Now, the question is it true or false?
Actually, it's a little difficult to do it, ma'am, but the expectation is, as you said, ma'am.
Completely false. Yes.
Yes,
Which is
ma'am.
what our management principals and teachers are also not aware. It's like asking a heart specialist to deal with neuro problem, to deal with orthopedic problem, and to deal with kidney problem. How do you expect a heart specialist to do that? So we have general physicians and specialists. General physicians are all the teachers. And specialists are special educators, but they specialize only in one area. Somebody who specializes in LD cannot be expected to handle mental retardation, cannot be expected to handle physical challenge, but that's what is going to happen now. And why is it going to happen? Because our schools are now expected to be inclusive schools. So before I go into phonology, I just want to know what kind of challenges are you as teachers or parents already facing?
Ma'am, like those children who lisp while speaking, there is always like wrong pronunciation. So how to correct that? This is a major drawback that I'm facing. I'm unable to like overcome with this problem.
Is that to do with phonology? Is that to do with your design of the way you speak? That is your speech issue, where your brain is damaged because of which the speech is not clear. There is phonology there.
Phonology also, ma'am, like when they are pronouncing the words, even if they are able to say the word correctly, they are not able to say the correct sound of that word. Like S is A, so they are getting confused basically where to use a long A sound and where to use a A sound.
Okay.
So this problem is
all
also
right.
there.
Yes, Yoga. I would really appreciate if you could raise your hand so then I could, call you one by one.
My daughter neither fits in the special education category because she doesn't like fit in one category at all. The tendency of the school is to, when you say special education, they have this requirement and she doesn't meet any of that. She has not been enrolled as a special child at all. So for her, the normal curriculum or the regular school doesn't offer much because she's neither here nor there. That's one thing. There is lack of awareness on the school's part also, because first when I went, when I told them after she was admitted that, she had speech and language delay, because it became evident when she was 3 years old. And there is an automatic tendency to put her in the autism spectrum, which she doesn't fall under. So that is the other issue. And when it comes to speech and language, now the speech part is becoming more clearer, but the language remains an issue, how to form a sentence, how to use a verb and things like that. So for that, I have absolutely no help. So these are 3 areas of concern. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Yoga. One more question I can take before I start the session. One more share. Nobody else has risen the hand. I would request Kritika and 2 others to kindly come on camera, even Kevin, Aditi.
Hello, good evening.
Who's this?
Hello, good evening, ma'am. Sushma Bhandari.
Sushma, okay. Your name is coming as Mahima.
Yeah, ma'am, I think. Ma'am, I am Sushma Bhandari from Dehradun. मैं एक स्पेशल एजुकेटर हूँ और यहाँ पे आस्ट्रा ट्रस्ट में एक एनजीओ है, वहाँ पे मैं वर्क कर रही हूँ। तो हम यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक स्पेशल नीड सेंटर भी है, बट मेरा जो वर्क है एज ए स्पेशल एजुकेटर, हम इंक्लूसिव में गवर्नमेंट स्कूल के साथ वर्क कर रहे हैं। तो वहाँ पे मुझे बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स जो फेस होती है, सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट जो चीजें आती हैं तो ये होता है कि क्योंकि हमारे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में बच्चा जो आ रहा है वो स्लम एरिया से आ रहा है और जिसका कि एजुकेशनल बैकग्राउंड कुछ भी नहीं है। आई थिंक कि उनके हो सकता है शायद वो फर्स्ट जनरेशन एजुकेशन जाने वाला बच्चा है। तो उस कंडीशन में उस बच्चे 4th और 5th में बच्चा एकदम क्लास में एडमिशन दे दिया जाता है आरटीआई के रूल के अकॉर्डिंग, कि उसकी एज के अकॉर्डिंग। और बच्चे का जो फैमिली बैकग्राउंड है वो काफी इस तरीके का होता है कि बच्चा स्कूल में एग्रेसिव बिहेव कर रहा है, इमोशनल बिहेवियर, मतलब उसके बिहेवियर में बहुत सारे चेंजेस है। बट तो वहाँ पे टीचर उसके साथ ऐसे बिहेव करते हैं, दे आर द स्पेशल चाइल्ड, जबकि ऐसा होता नहीं है, क्योंकि शायद कहीं ना कहीं उनको एक सही डायरेक्शन की, एक सही तरीके से मोटिवेट करने की जरूरत। और वहाँ पे अधिकतर बच्चों के साथ जब उनका असेसमेंट के लिए भी हम जाते हैं तो मैक्सिमम बच्चे माइल्ड या बॉर्डर लाइन कैटेगरी में आते हैं। अब उस कंडीशन में उनके साथ वर्क करना, उनके साथ डील करना, और सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट यहाँ पे मुझे लगता है कि बच्चे से ज्यादा टीचर के साथ वर्क करने की जरूरत होती है, क्योंकि टीचर को ये
वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट बोला आपने, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट बोला है। बच्चों को डील करना बहुत आसान, इट इज अ प्रॉब्लम टू डील द एडल्ट। मेरे 20 साल हो गया इस फील्ड में। मैंने अपनी आई वाज अ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ अ स्कूल व्हिच हैड 12,000 चिल्ड्रन एंड 5 ब्रांचेस ऑफ ऑल बोर्ड्स। मैं सारे बोर्ड्स में काम कर चुकी हूँ। So I always feel working with children easy, but working with parents and teachers, because वो shift नहीं होता है, the brain is not ready to make the change. We have so many fixed ideas. जब हम वो change के लिए ready हो जाते हैं, result and productivity automatically happens. All right. So I can see कि आज हमारे audience में I have people from different experiences, different backgrounds, different needs. Okay. So कोई भी workshop में we should not expect that all your needs will be addressed in 1.5 hours. Please remember, I have attended more than 100 workshops to reach here in the last 20 years. I have been a student all my life. कहीं पर भी कुछ भी training होता है, I used to land there as a teacher, as a principal, as a director, as a head of an organization. मैं पहुंच के सीखने के लिए लगी रहती थी. I never stopped learning. So we will discuss many issues. I'll try to give you answers of many issues, but please remember special education is very very vast. और आप 1.5-2 घंटे में कोई चमत्कार नहीं कर पाओगे, but yes, lot of your brain will open up to finding solutions automatically. That's what I believe in. कि आपका दिमाग खुल जाएगा कि अरे यार ये मैंने कभी ट्राई क्यों नहीं किया, I could have done this before also. That's what I believe in when I do my workshops. Okay, so let me start with the session. So this is addressing phonological challenges. Now, how many of you are expecting that I'll teach you phonics? हाथ ऊपर करना, because these sessions are not to make you understand phonics. Okay, one more question before that. How many of you have learned to read or speak English through phonics? You have? Matlab in your school phonics was there when you were a little kid? Yoga? Yoga, I can't hear you. Please unmute your mic, please. Okay, maybe we have muted you. Let me. All the others can type. In fact, we will save a lot of time. I just wanted yes or no. How many of you have learned to read English through phonics? Yoga, you can also type. Let me just see if I can unmute you. No, I think I'll have to ask my admin to help. No, you use Jolly Phonics, Sushma, but how many of you have learned to read English through phonics as a child? Nobody, na? बाकी को तो मैं देख भी नहीं सकती हूँ. Aditi, Agrawat, Smrita, Kevin, kindly come on camera. Netra and whoever, Lorraine, kindly come on camera. Have you all learned to read English through phonics? No. तो हम अपने बच्चों को क्यों सिखा रहे हैं? हमारे देश में सभी लोग इंग्लिश पढ़ लेते हैं विदाउट फोनिक्स. Kevin, yes, you are visible now. Okay, actually you have two systems. Yeah. हम क्यों सिखा रहे हैं? Ask yourself, why are we teaching phonics? हम हिंदी में तो phonics करके कुछ नहीं सिखाते. Why are we doing this in English? So these are the kind of mind-blowing questions I'll be asking you. I don't expect answer for every question. I will only need to think. और हम नहीं करेंगे तो क्या होगा? And if you have a very, very strong answer, you can pause me if you want and give your answer. आप सोच के देखिए, if you teach the way you were taught, what is the problem? I never learned phonics. I read well, I write well, I speak well, and I teach now. That is different. Okay. So our regular children who have no issues, for them learning to read through phonics is very easy. But take it from me, our children with special needs of any kind of challenges will always find learning through phonics not very easy, especially learning disability. Why? Because English is not a phonological language. Do you agree? Except English, all the other languages are phonological languages. Hindi, Marathi, Punjabi, Gujarati, Marwadi, Assami, Telugu, Tamil, name a language in India. हम जो बोलते हैं, जो लिखते हैं और जो पढ़ते हैं वो same है. If we say kawa, we write kawa exactly the way we say kawa. Yes or no? But we write knowledge with not an N, with a K. Why? We write phonics not with an F, with a PH. Why? Why don't we write simple Phonic? phonic हो गया ना? किसने बोला कि PH होना चाहिए? So do you understand what challenges our children are facing? The learning disabled children ask me this question, why are you making me say PH as per? Why can't you have F there? क्या जवाब दोगे आप? You will have to go back to learn the science of English language to give that answer. Do we have time as teachers and parents to go deep into understanding the science of English language? नहीं है किसी के पास इतना time. Number 2, English is not a scientific language. Sanskrit is, Malayalam is, Hindi is. आप सब कोई ना कोई मातृभाषा को फॉलो करते हो, राइट? और अगर हम हिंदी भी ले लें, लेट्स टेक हिंदी. Hindi, all the consonants of Hindi have a specific place of origin. I don't know if Hindi is taught in schools like this when you were young or even present. When you say ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, which part of your mouth or body? Exactly. Kant. All this ka, kha, ga, gha, nga is here. This is science of language. Correct? When we say cha, 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 jha, nya, it's right here. Is English like this? A के लिए एक मुंह बनाते हैं, B के लिए दूसरा मुंह बनाते हैं, C के लिए तीसरा मुंह बनाते हैं. How will you teach children? न, ट, ठ, ड, ढ, न एक जगह है. फिर भी हमारे देश में हिंदी रीडिंग इज सो डिफिकल्ट. और मदर टंग, who children who learn in English medium schools find mother tongue very difficult, or Hindi very difficult, or the local state language difficult. Yes or no? We have made it so difficult. We are trying to make English is easy, but English is a language which has borrowed words from other languages. English has Chinese, English has French, English has German, English has Italian, English has Spanish, English has Indian, Hindi. So where is phonics in English? I hope I have ignited your brain so that you are prepared कि आप जो माइंड में बैठ के आए थे कि ये होने वाला है, वो कुछ नहीं होगा. पर जो आप सोच नहीं सकते हो, and your doors will open for many more learnings. Okay. So what are we going to do in this workshop? Effective strategies to teach phonics to CwSN, children with special needs, understand phonological awareness, overview of different phonological skills that are prerequisite for reading. Reading के लिए हमें क्या तैयारी करनी होती है? Unique challenges faced by children, link between brain and reading, manifestation of reading and spelling challenges for children, case discussion, classroom adaptation, parental strategies to support children with learning needs, with reading, strategies and interventions that special educators and therapists can use to teach long and short-term vowels. So I'll try to cover all this, so each one can have a workshop for itself. Itna deep hai har topic, but I'll still try to touch all. So let me first start with 6 phonemic awareness before decoding. Okay, let me ask you, what is decoding? So I have this habit of consistently interacting and questioning you. Please participate actively. No lecture business in any of my sessions. Okay. So what is decoding? I'm okay if you don't know, but if you know, you can just try to make an attempt even by typing. Okay. So no issues. I understand you don't know. So decode, unraveling, और भी difficult कर दिया word को. I wanted to simplify decoding so that others could understand. You made it to another level. How will my special needs children learn? Yes, Komal.
I think breaking the word.
Breaking the word. Breaking the word is called syllabification. Syllables.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So solving. No. Visual symbol, no. Decoding is a process that your and my brain does when we make an attempt to read. Okay. Now every alphabet is an image. I'll do an activity with you. Tell me what is this, if you are able to see.
Butterfly.
Butterfly, okay. No, not the outer. I've written something.
Okay.
Are you able to see?
Yeah.
Whatever comes to your mind, please type.
Door.
Door, very good.
Two triangles and
बैग
Right
बैग
out
का सिंबल भी हो
rectangle.
सकता है.
Okay. Triangle cut, okay. So what your brain now is doing is called decoding. You find an image, but you're not able to guess what it is. Okay. Now you have various images, various meanings to this image. You agree? Each one of you perceive it in your way. Now I will help you to break the decoding and tell you this is an alphabet of an Indian language. Now your brain is looking at it from a different angle. You agree? Now instead of looking at it as a door or an object, now your brain has shifted to seeing it as a language. Now I'll tell you the language is Malayalam. And now I'll tell you that this image has a sound. And that sound is M. So what is this? It is the M of, it is the M of Malayalam. कितना टाइम लगा आपको सीखने में? So this is called the grapheme. That is the image of the alphabet. And alphabet has a value only if you add a sound. You agree? Without a sound, this did not make any sense to you. Yes or no? Excellent. Now imagine the child trying to learn 56 alphabets in Hindi or Gujarati or Malayalam or Tamil or Telugu or whatever, and 26 alphabets in English. I'm looking at only special needs child. I'm not interested in a normal children. We are not here to discuss their life. Now, if I tell you that this alphabet has 3 sounds, what is the condition of the child's brain? How does he remember which one to be used when? And why do we shout at children if they make mistake? The problem is in our language. So you'll ask me, what do we do? I'll tell you what all to be done. I'm just preparing you again before we go into. So now you've understood what is decode. Before students can begin to sound out and decode words, they must have a strong background of phonemic awareness. What's phonemic awareness? They should be listening to a lot of sounds. If children have speech delay, I've seen many parents try to express with action and ask the children to act on that or respond on that. No. If the child has speech delay, the parent must continuously talk, because the child has to listen to X number of vocabulary by the age of 5. X lakh, I don't know how many lakh, I can't remember the figure. The child listens to so much of vocabulary. If they don't listen, how will they get sounds? If you pick up this child and put it in a jungle, what is it the child will learn? We remember the story of Jungle Book. I don't remember the character's name now. Whatever it is. So what did he learn? He didn't learn English, Hindi. He could make sounds of all the animals in the jungle and identify who's in trouble, even the pain. That's how our brain works. Second one, phonemic awareness is a child's understanding that our speech has series of individual sounds, which is an emphasis on the sounds of the spoken words. Now, if you look at the screen clearly, unlike Hindi, English doesn't have a specific area where each alphabet is used. Try to say A, E, I and see how much of your lips are moving. A, E, I, hardly. Our mouth is almost in the same position. F, V, same position. Children with speech delay have this problem, because for the child who's looking at you, the lip position is same. F, V. Agreed? F also releases air and V also releases air, but F's air and V's air are slightly different in its position. How on this earth do we expect these babies to understand? You get the problem now? Okay. And so is all this. Ch, j, sh, same position. So when we tell the child to say ch, the child will say sh, because they are not able to understand where that stress of the tongue has to happen. Ch, sh, hardly minor difference. The children who are normal like you and me pick it up very normally. But these kids don't get the instruction from their brain. Sa, da, ga, ka, na, sa, ta, sa, all are same. Next one. It's important to understand that phonemes are the smallest units of speech, but they are written as graphemes. I just explained to you this. The image of the alphabet is called grapheme, and the sound given to it is called phoneme. So when they both are together, they form an alphabet. If you write anything in Hindi or Tamil or Telugu in front of a child without telling what that sound is, the way I did it to you, the child will look at it as a Rangoli design. Today you go back and write another language alphabet in the child's notebook and ask what is it. I'm sure the child will come up with amazing answers like you did. Now, if you look at it, you will find funny thinking, Arey, how could I think of it as two diagrams? But that time your brain said, no, no, they are two triangles. Okay. So each of the S, T, P, N, M, A, all of them are images of an alphabet which has a sound, and the sounds are given by the formation of these words. I don't need to teach these words. Phonic awareness is taught through songs, chants, results, nursery rhymes in preschool. You agree? Why do we have all this in preschool? We don't have it because we want children to learn Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. We have so many songs and stories and chants and mantras with only one intention, that children get to hear more and more sounds and more vocabulary. So if this is not happening in preschool, the children are at a loss of listening to sound, are at a loss of learning vocabulary, are at a loss of picking up a language, because they don't get to hear this language at home. I have seen many international school teachers complaining, ma'am, they don't speak English at home. Hello, we are not America. We are not supposed to speak English. Though the modern parents all speak with children at home in English, just because they think by speaking English at home, their English vocabulary will be better. Are we telling ourselves that Dr. Radhakrishna and all the great people born in India, their parents never spoke in English at home? They spoke their mother tongue, but they were the best orators, Swami Vivekananda. So from where do we pick up English? Only and only from school. Now let me ask you a question. Keep your hand on your heart and tell me, how many schools in India, especially preschools, teachers speak 100% English for 4 hours? I have yet to meet a school. I have spent 25 years training teachers across the country. 25 years only trainings and workshops. I have yet to meet a school where the school says all my preschool teachers speak only English. Now the answer the preschool teacher will give me, who is a preschool teacher here? Somebody had said.
I am, yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
Jasmine and Shifali. Do you speak 100% English in school?
Ma'am, we tried, but we failed because like the child, if he is not aware of the language that we are speaking of, how the child will understand?
Yeah, so I was expecting this answer because this is the answer I got for last 25 years.
Yes.
Now I'll break this answer. Okay, let me take an example here. Kevin, you have a child?
Yes, ma'am.
How old?
3.5, ma'am.
Wonderful, absolutely right age. Kevin, you are transferred to US, okay, tomorrow.
Okay.
You have to go and you live in US from tomorrow with your family.
Okay, ma'am.
Now tell me, how will your child pick up English?
Okay, with any other language will be difficult, ma'am, because our mother tongue is English only, ma'am, at home.
Chalo, your mother tongue English, so you are excused. Now let me leave English. You are transferred to Paris.
Yeah, ma'am. It will be difficult, ma'am. I'll have to enroll for some classes. I learn first and then teach her. No, to teach her, I'll have to learn first, ma'am.
I don't think so. I don't think so. If you go and land in Paris and your child is admitted in a school where everybody speaks only French, what will happen?
She'll have to learn it in school only, ma'am.
She will have to
learn it from
she
school.
will easily.
Yeah, she will and will easily also, ma'am.
Exactly. She will easily learn French within 5 months or within 3 months. Why? Because the child is breathing French, listening French, speaking French, reading French, everybody around is French. So the child will not need extra effort. You will need. An adult will need extra effort to go to some French classes and learn, but the child will not, because the child's, You think the French teacher in Paris will translate in Malayalam or Punjabi or Gujarati and help our child? No. So now tell me, Shefali ji, Sushma ji, Jasmine ji, why do we do it in our country? In our country, in our classrooms, we'll have a Punjabi child, a Marathi child, a Gujarati child, a Hindi child, and all the other child. But the teacher will try to speak first in Hindi, then in English. Then first in Hindi, then in English. When will the child listen to English? 70% of time we are translating. Will a child in France get translation? Will a child in Germany get translation? Will a child in China get translation? Don't they learn language? The problem is in our India, we will do language 1, then language 2. I am only allowing you to think.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Like, it's
As
a
a
wonderful
principal,
statement.
I have broken a lot of rules. I used to tell my teachers, stop translating. Show a watch and tell this is a watch. Don't tell a child, बच्चा आपको पता है ये घड़ी है, घड़ी को इंग्लिश में watch बोलते हैं. Nonsense. Sorry for my this thing. Just show the product and tell the name, the child. How does the child? Okay, what is the Hindi of McDonald's? What is the Hindi of Pizza Hut? What is the Hindi of Uber, Ola? किधर है इसका हिंदी? Then why do we translate kalam and pen? क्यों करते हैं हम ये गलत काम? हम अपने बच्चों को परेशान करते हैं इसलिए.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really brainstorming.
So I told you I'm not here to teach phonics. I'll only help you to break your beliefs and make you learn yourself. That's what I've done last 20 years. Okay. So the next one is phonemic awareness is a prerequisite for learning to read. So if you are teaching through phonics, wonderful. There's nothing wrong. It's easy also. No problem. But what if the child cannot learn through phonics? That's the question. So I'll be telling you how we teach children. What happens? I'll come to the later slides. Now look at these simple problems that our phonics have. The sound CH, ch, is ch in chance, sh in chef, and k in chaos. How do you expect a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a special needs child to even know this difference, because their brain is already wired differently? The brain doesn't work the way our brains work. So when somebody asks me, when we pronounce something, the child doesn't pronounce it back, is because of chaos in their head like this. So now let me come to 5 simple ways to understand phonics. Phonics is a set of relationship between phonology, that is the sounds of speech, and orthography. Orthography is what? The spelling patterns of written language. All our written languages, I mean, English written languages has a spelling pattern, which is not there in Hindi, okay, or your language. When you write kalam, ka-la-ma, you say that, you write that. But when you write pen, then I ask children to write pen. Some people write it as P-E-N, somebody will write it as P-A-N, somebody will write it as P-I-N. Because they have a confusion with these vowels. But this problem doesn't come in any Hindi word. Any word you take, that there is no problem. Kitab. The confusion lies only in choti e and badi e. And you know why? Because that is not taught by the teacher properly. It's not the child's fault. We'll come to the Hindi teaching problems some other time. I'm coming up with a Hindi workshop. Those of you who want to enroll can get ready for that. You will get mails for that, okay? Phonics focuses on spelling patterns and their location in the word. Children use their knowledge of sounds to sound words they do not recognize. So many times WhatsApp में men करके आता है मेरे पास. What man? It will come as MEN. Then I have to ask, प्लूरल है या सिंगुलर है? व्हाट डिड यू से? मतलब व्हाट्सएप लैंग्वेज तो और भी भयानक है. The main goal of phonics is for a reader to quickly decode the sounds of an unfamiliar word. That's the whole aim. If you know to read through phonics, you should be able to read any word. But again, English language doesn't have all phonic words. Knowing the relationship between letters and spoken sounds, children will be able to recognize familiar words and be able to decode new unfamiliar words automatically. So if they are able to break ma, at, ka, at, ka, at, they are able to read better. That's what I think there's some noise from somewhere. Okay. Let's know our consonants now. Amazing. All the consonants that is given in the black area with yellow color have all independent sounds. Yes? Except two naughty fellows. That is C and G. Now I don't know why, but C has two sounds. C says ka and C says sa. Same way G says ga and G says ja. How do you make a child understand this? The child tells me, ma'am, CAT is cat, white is not sad. Because CITY is city. So if CITY can be city, why can't be CAT sad? क्या जवाब दोगे? English की दादागिरी. That's the jawab. Now I'll tell you what is the jawab also. Same problem with G. G. GUM is gum. GIRAFE, giraffe. यहाँ ग है, वहां ज है. अल्फाबेट सेम है. कैसे याद रखेगा बच्चा? So what is the rule for that? The rule is, you can write down. If you put A, O and U after C, CA, CO and CU. Now frame a word from that and read the word aloud to yourself. CAT, cat. COUH, COT, cot. और COKE, coke. CUT, cut. C का साउंड कहाँ है? हम बोल रहे हैं बच्चे को, बच्चा C है, बट बच्चा क्या बोल रहा है? क. CUT, cut. COT, coat or coke. CAT, cat. CAT, catch. C से 5, CA से can you make 5 words with CA? And what is the sound of C? Ka. Correct? So, whenever A, O and U is followed by C, the sound of C is ka. 98% of teachers in India don't know this because it's not taught. So how will they teach the children? Now let's come to S. When is C becoming S? Put a I or put a E and now frame words. C के बाजू में I डालिए. क्या बन रहा है? सिटी, सिनेमा, सेंटीमीटर, सिरिल. Yeah? Okay. Thank God. एक डाउट तो क्लियर हुआ. Let me come to the next one. G. Now do the same rule with G. Is it same? Yoga, come on the mic. Yoga smiling. Let me try. I don't know why I'm not able to unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, if it is game, gun, God, but give, no. Give doesn't follow that pattern.
Exactly.
Get also, no.
Yes. So in G, I think it is a ratio of 80-20. It's not 100% the rule of C. So again, the child is confused. When to use ga and when to use ja. Do we have this problem in Hindi? हिंदी लेटर ग का और कोई आवाज साउंड है क्या? हिंदी लेटर प का और कोई साउंड है क्या? नहीं है. और हम हिंदी को डिफिकल्ट मानते हैं. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. अभी तो खाली अल्फाबेट की आइडेंटिटी हुई है. जस्ट नाउ व्हेन वी स्टार्ट ब्लेंडिंग, मोर chaos. So let's not blame our children that they are not able to read. Let's blame the language. In fact, it's not the aim of blaming. The aim is how to help the child. Now let's come to vowels. अभी और मजा आएगा. Thank God we have only 5 vowels. Unlike in Hindi, हिंदी में कितने स्वर हैं? 11, 12, 13. We all are learning. सब recall कर रहे हैं. आ, ई, ऊ. Okay. Now again, let me ask you. Hindi vowels में A is only saying A, right? But in English, one alphabet A has how many sounds? शेफाली को हंसी आ रहा है बहुत. गिर जाएगी हंस के. You're laughing at yourself, you're laughing at the mistakes you have done, or you're laughing at the system, the laughing at the language, you're laughing at me. I don't know.
No, I'm not at you, not at all. Means like not able to recognize the drawbacks, the pattern that you have told just now. Means not able to make those patterns till now. It's quite amazing.
Jasmine, you want to say something? Your hands up.
Ma'am, 2 sounds. A has 2 sounds.
A?
A has 2 sounds.
A has 7 sounds, darling.
Ma'am, oh, A, I, A, Y, A, E, and like.
A has 7 sounds.
Okay.
And that's why the child is so confused. आप लेके बैठना 15 वर्ड्स, आपको पता चलेगा A में कितने साउंड्स क्रिएट किए गए. You know why? Because all words are not English. जब जर्मन वर्ड आ गया तो उसका साउंड अलग है. जब जापानीज वर्ड आ गया तो उसका साउंड अलग है. आई एम हैप्पी Kevin is continuously googling as he is attending the web workshop. You're googling?
I'm taking notes, ma'am. Whatever I'm typing it and one.
Okay. I thought you're searching for A words.
No, ma'am.
A bolo. Let's say. Okay. Who's going to say? Jasmine, say A words.
Ma'am, A says A.
Just say words with A.
And aeroplane.
A. बदल गया.
Alligator.
A.
Alligator.
एक सेकेंड देखो. And एरोप्लेन में ऐसा हो गया. आगे बोलो. 2 हो गए.
Alligator.
Alligator फिर मुंह खुल गया.
Astronaut. Astronaut. Axe.
Apple. बहुत सारे.
Apple.
बहुत confusion है. A has 5 to 7 sounds. Or once A joins with another vowel, a new sound will be created. अरे बाबा मेरा छोटा बच्चा कैसे सीखेगा ये सब? So similarly is E, I, O and U. So कितने, though we say 5 vowels, but vowels have so many sounds. And again, they will have a different sound when they are in the beginning of the alphabet, beginning of the word, the middle of the word and the end of the word. वो नया problem. Many places we know the alphabet will be there, but we don't have to pronounce. So the teacher will say, silent, silent. कैसे बच्चे को याद रहता है that silent? Okay, let's make friends with short vowel and long vowel sounds. So words like CAT, TAP, MAN, ये short vowels है. K, A, T, finished. Very easy. ta, a, pa, ma, a, na, over. Now the minute there are two vowels in the word, long vowels have two vowels like M-A-K-E. M-A-K-E. यहाँ rule बदल गया. Don't pronounce the first vowel, pronounce the second. Sorry, don't pronounce the second vowel, pronounce the first vowel. But the child will read it how? Makey. A child with special needs will read it as makey. Because he is pronouncing every sound. And then we'll say, no, 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 wrong. You don't even know so much. How will you know? Second one, feet. And like this, it becomes very complicated when you start joining AI, AY, OI, OY, OA, OE, OO, OU, OU, etc. Now, how do we pronounce? Let's do a word with AI. Can you think of a word which has AI?
Pain.
Sorry?
Pain. Pain.
P-A-I-N, pain.
P-A-I-N. Pain.
Pain or paint. Okay, pain. Now, इसमें I तो है ही नहीं. अभी भी sound तो एक का ही आ रहा है. Pay. तो अभी A was a, apple. अब यहाँ के A बन गया A. Position changed. कितना प्रॉब्लम है हमारे ब्रेन को? हमारा आ की मात्रा के साथ कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. There's only one sound A. If you put it beside a ka, or if you put it beside a pa, or if you put it beside a da, it still says ound. And that's how this whole chaos with children are. So can you think of any other words with OA that sounds uses like OW sound? Abhi OA and OW will also have the same sound. SN OW is snow. O. Think of a word which has OA which will have O sound.
Soak.
Soak.
S-O-A-K. Boat. Soak.
Yeah. Now snow and boat. The child is bound to write wrong spelling. Because what they listen is the same sound. Bow, boat, snow. ये देखो ये position तो same ही है. Bow, snow. How do you expect him to remember the spelling? Children who have speech delay, children who have learning disability, children who have language delay problem, they are going to face it. So why I'm doing all this is first let us accept. What is a problem? Why the child is facing it? Part 2 is how do you help? उससे भी complicated है blends. E-N-N, E-L-L-L, E-W-U, yeah, draw. Now you start joining consonant to consonant or consonant to vowel and new sounds come. And these new sounds cannot be very easily designed, cannot very easily be identified by children. Okay. To read a short vowel word map, the children need to identify ma, a, pa. Each one of them independently, and then they join it together. When there is a long vowel sound, students have to identify the pattern and the other letter sounds of the word. Like just now we did bake. Now you tell the child E is going to be silent. We will put E, but don't say E. मेरे को पता हिंदी भाषा में ऐसा कोई भी वर्ड है क्या जो आप बोलते हो लिखा जाएगा लेकिन बोलना नहीं है? सुषमा जी थक गई. Sushma is sitting like this.
No, ma'am, no, ma'am.
आपको नहीं लगता ये सारा ज्ञान हर टीचर को चाहिए?
Yes, ma'am.
This is not
Yes,
for special
ma'am.
education teachers. This is for regular school teachers. And not only English teachers, all teachers. Then they'll know if the child is suffering, how you at least उसका मजाक नहीं उड़ाएंगे. मदद करना तो छोड़ दो. At least let's not make fun of a child who cannot say it. A student's ability to blend sounds comes from a stronger background of phonemic awareness. जितना हम उसे sound practice देंगे, उतना बच्चा confidently blending कर पाएगा. A student who hasn't had practice blending speech sounds into words will most likely have trouble blending sounds into words for decoding. So he's confused if the blendings are not taught. So blending कैसे सिखाएंगे? We'll put two consonants, b, la, bla, p, la, pla, c, la, cla, d, la, dla. Now I want to show you how Hindi works. हिंदी दिखने में कितना complicated है, but हिंदी में blending नहीं है. क्या आपको पता है ये बात? There is no blend because the alphabet already is blended. You see that? क के बाद ख है, ख में इंग्लिश का क और ह दोनों डालेंगे तो ख बन रहा है. So there is already mixed blend. Now you will start liking Hindi suddenly. Okay. So 6 common spelling patterns in English language. These are the most common spelling patterns. Okay. Number 1. The first pattern is called CVC. CVC is consonant, vowel, consonant. So when we teach children, we give them a list of CVC words, or we give them VC, that is vowel consonant sounds. There are very few consonant vowel words. It generally begins with vowel and consonant sounds, then consonant, vowel, consonant. Second is consonant vowel, yeah. Geo, go, me, me. Then is rules of E silent. Then is mixing. The first vowel is long and the second vowel is silent. So there's a famous line which says, if two vowels go walking, the first one does talking. Like meat. हम meat में E डाल रहे हैं, but E ही pronounce कर रहे हैं. The next one is a bossy R. ARR, URR, IRR, everything the sound will be R's position. Her. Her में हमें ह और र दो ही sound आ रहा है. पर लिखने में E लिखना जरूरी है. Fur. Car. They are called the bossy R's. And the sixth one is LE. Consonant plus LE. Turtle. Little. We say only L, we don't pronounce E. These are the most common English words. Huh? Common English spelling words. I don't say all of them fall into this, not possible. As I have been saying, English is a combination of many other languages. Okay, let me give you a word. Oh, this is coming direct. Wait. Can you pronounce this word?
Rendezvous.
Come again.
Rendezvous.
Any other pronunciations you have heard? Now you think and tell me, how will a normal child learning English pronounce it as rendezvous? He will read it as ren-de-vous. If you go by the phonology rule. So why we don't pronounce it as ren-de-vous? Any idea?
It's not an English word, man. It's
That
derived from another language.
Yes.
French
The
word.
word from French, France. Rendezvous is to meet again. So now we can't change that. And like this, if I tell you millions of words are lying in English, which does not belong to English. Okay. So there are two ways reading or phonological reading to be taught to children. One is called explicit and the second is called implicit. Okay. Now what's an explicit system? Where we introduce a vowel first to the child, then you introduce a consonant, then you join them, a digraph forms, then a phonogram forms, that is part of the word forms, and then the whole word happens. So phonics classes generally run like this. They'll use A, then they'll put T, then they'll add it, AT add, then there'll be another word put CAT cat, and then finally the whole word forms. Now again, I am going to ask you the question. Have you all learned to read like this?
No, ma'am.
Kevin, how did you learn to read English?
Ma'am, for me it was actually an acquisition. But then when I'm teaching for my daughter now, it's just
My question's answer, please. How did you, when you were a 3-year-old kid, how did you learn English?
that's what, ma'am. It was just acquired. It was not phonology at all.
It was just acquired. From where?
Yes, from family only, ma'am.
Good.
But at
Jasmine,
school,
how?
they never taught phonology, ma'am.
Excellent. Jasmine, how did you learn?
Ma'am, rote learning.
Rote learning. Perfect. Yoga.
I learned phonetics, k, b, m, so I guess.
Where are you from?
I studied in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. And when, how many years back?
48 years back, 45 years back.
So then the phonics was introduced. I'm really surprised.
Yes.
Good. So you must be having one odd teacher who might be good at it. Possible. Sushma, how did you learn to read English?
मैम हमने तो ऐसे ही पढ़ा कि रीडिंग करना टीचर ने सिखाया और वैसे ही रीड किया.
इसका मतलब ये है, शेफाली, आर यू डिफरेंट? आपका कोई अलग तरीका रहा? नहीं, राइट? आप सब में मैं उम्र में बड़ी होंगी. सो वो टाइम पे अदिति वांट्स टू आंसर. अदिति, हाउ डिड यू लर्न?
Ma'am, by rote learning.
Exactly. What's wrong with any one of you?
Excuse me?
What's wrong with any one of you?
Nothing, ma'am. Nothing. As such, nothing. Yeah, it was difficult, but yes, we learned.
You think it was difficult?
Ma'am,
do you feel today it was difficult? Have you learned it then? I think you have some internet issue. We are not able to hear you. Netra, Smita, जो camera off करके बैठे हैं, kindly come on camera and answer this question, please. Agrawat, Mubashira, Kritika. Yeah, how did you learn, Kritika?
Listening to the teachers.
Listening, repeating, correct?
Yes.
Mubashira, how about you?
Same, ma'am. Listening and repeating, and sometimes picture. That's all.
Sometimes picture. Agreed. So, which means it's not necessary to teach English through phonics. Now, coming to why did phonics come into India then, when we were all doing fine? English is not our language. We have not created phonics. Phonics कहाँ से आया? Definitely US या UK से आया है. हमारा तो है नहीं. तो phonics ने क्या किया हम लोगों को? What did they do, US and UK? They sold it to us. In millions of dollars, they sold it to us. They made this concept as something which is popular for international schools, or calling the amazing schools as phonology, English taught through phonology and blah, 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 blah. I'm not against it. In my school itself, phonics was practiced. I'm not against it. But I'm just trying to make you think. अभी किसी ने बोला ना हमारे बच्चे स्लम से आते हैं, उनको हम कैसे सिखाएंगे फोनिक्स? मेरे सवाल का यही जवाब है कि फोनिक्स सिखाने की जरूरत क्या है? अगर स्लम के बच्चे हैं तो वो तो वैसे ही भाषा नहीं सीख रहे हैं, वो आपको फॉलो करेंगे जैसा आप सिखाओगे. So phonics is sold to us. We pay high price in preschool and schools because there the advertisement is we teach through phonology. Yes, it is an amazing science, no doubt. And reading has become easier, faster because of phonics. There is no doubt. But let's also remember our special needs children cannot just depend on phonics because the basic problem in their brain is connection between the alphabet and the sound. So let's understand the second system. This is explicit, vowel, consonant, digraph, phonogram, and whole word. The second one is called implicit. What's implicit? Is what we all learned. Teacher said WHAT, 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 what. पूरी क्लास को रटाया गया. रोज 5 वर्ड, 6 वर्ड, 8 वर्ड हम सब ने सीख लिया. हमने तब पूछा था क्या WH वो होता है, A होता है, फिर वो टै होता है? नहीं पूछा. जितनी भी पॉपुलेशन है जिसकी उम्र 40 एंड अबव है इंडिया में, सबने ऐसे ही सीखा है. 40 या इवन 30. 20 साल हुए आई थिंक फोनिक्स हमारे कंट्री में आके, या ज्यादा से ज्यादा 25 साल. ओके, मे बी 30 years. Let me just take it. Okay. Now, how did we learn? We learned it like this. Then we were taught syllables for big words. Like if you want to learn how to read big words, तो टीचर क्या बोलती थी? ब्रेक करो, वर्ड को ब्रेक करो बेटा, तोड़ो तोड़ो, बड़ा वर्ड है. रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ऐसे हम तोड़ तोड़ के सीखते थे. यस और नो? और बाद में हमें ये सारा फोनोग्राम का साउंड सिखाया. हम उल्टे पड़े हैं, उल्टे. अगर फोनोलॉजी सही तरीका है तो ये उल्टा है. बट फॉर मी दे आर टू डिफरेंट मेथड्स. इफ यू आस्क मी व्हाट आई डिड फॉर 20 years, my approach is teach either of the ways or teach both ways. क्यों? जो वर्ड्स फोनोलॉजी के कैटेगरी में आता है उसको फोनोलॉजी से सिखाओ. CAT, CAT, MET, MAT, C, जो भी एट, पैट, सैट, मैट, रैट आता है. और जो नहीं आता है उसे होल वर्ड मेथड पे लेके जाओ. टेक इट ऑन द होल वर्ड मेथड, और विच इज कॉल्ड implicit method. Do you get it? So don't get worried if your children cannot understand. If you use either of that, they will still learn to read. Yoga, you have a question?
In the implicit method, is this what they call sight words nowadays?
Exactly. You've caught it. So there were no such words before. They're all new terminologies, sight words. So explicit instruction is found to be more beneficial for students, more systematic. Most phonic programs are taught using explicit, as long as the language is completely phonics. How do you teach KNOW? How do you teach a word psychology? One of the students asked me this question. Ma'am, why psychology is not starting with C or S? Why is it starting with P? Why is physics starting with PH? Now, how do you justify that? So that is the time you will say, nahi, nahi, aisa hi isko aise hi seekho. So that's why I say use both methods, whatever works. So let's do a case study now. Johnny is an 8-year-old boy in a 2nd grade. He enjoys playing outside with his friends at recess and playing sports. Art is one of his favorite classes because he enjoys painting but has weak fine motor skills. He has difficulty concentration and staying on task at school. Johnny has trouble reading words. He often confuses short vowel sounds and has difficulty rhyming words. Johnny often guesses at words, only paying attention to the beginning of sound. Have you seen children like Johnny? Everything is fine about him, but he cannot learn through, like, see, Johnny has trouble reading words. He often confuses short vowel sounds and has difficulty rhyming words. Cat, mat, sat, rat, pat. Johnny often guesses at words. What is guessing at word? Which is very common in children with learning needs. The minute they see WH, they will either say what, where, when, why. Kuch bhi bolenge. So this is how they read from only looking at the first letters of the word. And then what do we say? तुम्हें दिखता नहीं है क्या ठीक से? उसको सब दिखता है. But that's what his challenge is. So we have to break such words and give them in 2 different colors. Then they identify it much better. So why do children with learning challenges struggle with phonic instruction? So what's learning disability? How many of you know about learning disability? You can just raise your hand if you know, because if the others don't know, then I will explain to you. What is learning disability?
It's a neurological disorder, and there is a difficulty of understanding and processing the words.
Absolutely. So their major problem is decoding. So learning disability is a neurological disorder, which means the way a person's brain is wired is different than other people's brain. Now, if you look at this image, you can understand a normal brain looks at alphabets like this, but a child with learning disability, he looks at alphabets like this. In that movie Tare Zameen Par, he says alphabet dance kar rahe hain. That boy is asked, why can't you read? The English teacher shouts at the boy. He says, mere liye alphabets dance kar rahe hain. That might sound funny in a movie, but that's so real, because last 20 years I've spent only my life with children with learning disability. You'll ask me, will they remain like this? No. They learn differently, they are trained differently, they are taught differently, and they all can switch over to good reading. So in their brain, the time taken by you and me to process a word or decode a word, for them it is much longer, and they cannot store that word in their brain. For example, now if I show you this again and ask you, what is this? कितने लोगों को याद है?
Malayalam word.
Malayalam
Letter.
है ना? अभी मैंने लर्निंग डिसेबल्ड बच्चे को दिखाया होता था, वो ब्लैंक लुक देता मेरे. आप सब ने रेस्पॉन्ड किया, पर वो रेस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर पाता. क्यों? क्योंकि ये तरीके से वो रजिस्टर नहीं कर पाया. सो व्हाट वी से, 4 बार तो मैं बता चुकी हूँ, तुम्हें समझ में क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? 4 बार सेम तरीके से बता चुकी हूँ, नहीं समझ आएगा. So what I train is, अगर आप 2 बार एक तरीके से बताते हो और नहीं आया बच्चे को, please change the तरीका. Problem is in तरीका. Problem is not in the child. Always remember, problem is in us. जब भी मेरा बच्चा fail हुआ है, I had only one thing. There's something wrong with me. Something wrong with my teaching method, not with the child. Does any child in the world want to fail intentionally? Obviously not. He fails because I am not able to explain to him the way he understands. So 80% of students with learning disability have reading problems. Children struggle with phonics and reading due to lack of phonemic awareness. So what's the golden rule for parents and teachers? With this, I'll close today's session and switch over to questions. Initially phonics, then whole word, then together. Whichever way the child learns. And one more thing, the rules are not for children. The rules are for the teacher to understand how to teach. There'll be a question coming to me soon, because this question has come to me many times. And how do children can't remember basic things? How do we expect children to remember rules? They can't remember rules. Rules is for adults to understand when to use how and where. The second level I say is analyze. Analyze how your child reads. Does he read better by phonics or does he read better by whole word? And then automation means use whatever is better, use that. Get that into the system. Focus on automation. Paired reading, mother and child reading, teacher and child reading tomorrow. What is paired reading? I have many parents and teachers here. Let me ask, what is paired reading? It sounds simple, but what is it?
Ma'am, the mother and the child reading together turn-wise, or the teacher or the child is reading turn-wise. The same chapter, but turn-wise, para to para.
Okay, that's one. Yeah, Mubashira.
Yeah, reading.
There are two Mubashiras. I think there's some problem with this thing.
Yeah, I renamed it because it was coming like Komal, so I renamed it.
Oh, so that is Komal then?
Maybe.
Komal can come on screen and tell I am Komal. Yeah, Mubashira.
I think first you have to read, then ask your child to repeat the same word or sentence which you are trying to teach her or him.
Okay, let's hear Komal's. Mike, Komal.
Sorry. Yeah. I think one page maybe the parent or teacher can read, and the other page like the child can read. Like I have some storybooks for my son, in which like one page is for the parent to read, and the other one has simple words, and they are like bold, and that is to be read by the child.
What will a slum child do? He doesn't have a book like yours. I have a teacher for slum also here, so I have to address all people's queries. So we don't have books designed for slum children. We are normal books. Now what do we do? Sushma, what do we do?
मैम जब हम रीडिंग कराते हैं बच्चों को, एक तो मॉडल रीडिंग की कराई जाती है, और फिर उसमें हम पेयर रीडिंग में क्या करते हैं कि बच्चे जब साथ में होते हैं और वो एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते हैं रीडिंग करते हुए.
That is peer. PEER. देखा यहाँ पे फोनोलॉजी का प्रॉब्लम आ गया ना. मैं पेयर की बात कर रही हूँ. PAIR.
पेयर रीडिंग.
इंग्लिश भगवान बचाए इंग्लिश भाषा को.
यस मैम.
PAIR. पेयर रीडिंग.
यस, पेयर रीडिंग में हम लोग काम करवाते हैं बच्चों से. तो सबसे पहले तो टीचर की मॉडल मैम, जैसे कि पहले तो टीचर के द्वारा
पेयर रीडिंग में होता है दो बच्चे साथ में पढ़ रहे हैं, एक पढ़ता है रुकता है, दूसरा पढ़ता है रुकता है, फिर ये दो साथ में पढ़ रहे हैं. दैट्स कॉल्ड पेयर रीडिंग. पेयर रीडिंग इज द टीचर एंड द चाइल्ड और द पेरेंट एंड द चाइल्ड, जो भी बच्चे के साथ काम कर रहे हैं. So how does it happen? See, if the child could read a whole page independently, then he doesn't need a pair reading, right? तो पढ़ रहा है ना पूरा पेज, एक पैराग्राफ, तो उसको पेयर रीडिंग की जरूरत क्या है? पेयर रीडिंग तब चाहिए जब बच्चा बिल्कुल भी नहीं पढ़ रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी उसे हमको पढ़ाना है. ओके, आई विल शो यू. दिस इज अ ब्यूटीफुल टेक्निक एंड आई प्रैक्टिस ओनली दिस. ये देखिए, ये लास्ट में एक लाइन लिखा है मैंने, टॉम वेंट टू द शॉप. ओके, वेंट और शॉप सीनियर केजी बच्चे के लिए वेंट और शॉप नया वर्ड होगा. सीनियर केजी या कोई भी बच्चा जो रीडिंग में स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, तो अभी पेरेंट या टीचर क्या करेगा? All those words which the child can read, the child will read. All those which the child cannot read, the parent or the teacher will read. इसमें चाइल्ड का सेल्फ एस्टीम बढ़ता है, उसको लगता है वो साथ में रीड कर रहा है. लेकिन जो दूसरा रीडिंग है, आई रीड यू रिपीट, दैट इज नॉट पेयर्ड रीडिंग. दैट इज ओनली रोट रीडिंग या रिपीट रीडिंग. मैंने पढ़ लिया, अब आप वापस से पढ़ो. हियर योर चाइल्ड इज विथ reading with you. So wherever the small words come, 2-letter words of and the parent should stop. Beta abhi aap padho. He will make an attempt because the child will get success. And then whenever a big word comes, let him try. If he cannot, then you say the word and the child repeats. It's a very beautiful technique. I do it even with class 10. Class 10 children whose reading level is class 5, I do it them. I say you start reading. Wherever he's stuck, I continue. I stop, he continues. So the child never feels mujhe padhna nahi aata. And that's the level, that's the way to push the child to more reading. Slowly, slowly, what will happen? From reading one line, they will start reading one page without their knowledge. Gradually, they move. So there are many strategies I'll be sharing with you all. So coming to up to 8 to 9 years, they learn by listening. Focus on general awareness of the child. See, vocabulary building doesn't happen only with reading. Do you agree? Reading is one of the ways. So increasing vocabulary is very important. So how do we increase vocabulary? What is the best technique to teach any language? What is the basic law or basic rule?
Listening, ma'am.
Exactly. So there are 4. L, S, R, W. This is how we learn a language. Right? What is L? Listening. So when a child is born, the listening begins. They have started listening to some language at home. Luckily for Kevin, it was English. For somebody else, it was Marathi. For somebody else, it was Punjabi. But the child has started listening. So vocabulary is already started absorbing in the child's brain. After 6 months, 9 months or 1 year, whenever the child starts speaking, they start making sounds. So their sounds are coming from where? From the sounds they have listened. Or the mama and papa keep saying papa, 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 mama, mama. This is the first few words that they start saying. Or pani, whatever. So that's when the child is shifted to speaking. So these are the 2 major activities of the parent at home. But with mobile in the hand today, Kevin is laughing loudly. He has a 3.5-year-old child. He knows what's the challenge he's facing. Can you share your challenge?
No, especially during the lockdown, ma'am. Otherwise, she never touches the mobile.
Exactly. Especially during the lockdown. I agree, Kevin. What has happened? Very poor listening has started because me and my child both are on this. Whereas just remove this from our life, we have a natural tendency to talk. अरे बेटा अभी तक देखो ना पापा नहीं आए, पता नहीं पापा क्यों देर हो गए, आज शायद ऑफिस में मीटिंग होगी. What is this happening? This is vocabulary. पता है दादी का फोन आया था, दादी said this, in Chacha's house this has happened. I have seen mothers, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they'll talk to them as though the whole relatives ka kahani they know. I'm sure many of you must have done this. I have done this. The 3-year-old doesn't understand chacha, kaki, chachi, mummy, but we'll go on and on. What is happening at that time? Vocabulary building. And now, all of us. So where is the child getting vocabulary? So listening has reduced. With listening, automatically speaking has reduced because अभी तो बच्चे WhatsApp में पूछ लेते खाना रेडी है क्या? From one room to the other. Mama, dinner में क्या है? So where is conversation? Where is listening? Where is speaking? Now the child is sent to school. In the school, initially the job is L and R only. L and S. नर्सरी में क्या करना होता है? यही करना होता है. Rhymes, songs, rhymes. So it's only listening and speaking. उसके बाद धीरे से शुरू करना होता है reading. और reading बहुत time करना होता है. But we don't do that. We will immediately switch to the thing which is least important in our life. And that is writing. Writing is not required till age 6. But we won't do that. We will start it in age 2, when your hand is also not ready. Writing alphabet can be taught in 1 week. Once all this and this is ready, because once you know to speak a language, once you know to listen to a language, and once you know to read a language, is it difficult to write? Can't you write this design? कितना time लगता है design लिखने के लिए? What is writing? Writing is just designs. Agree or not agree? तो आपके सारे विश्वास मैं तोड़ती रहूंगी ऐसे ही. आप लोग जो चीज को बिलीव कर रहे थे वो सब मैं तोड़ती रहूंगी, because once you break it, you will be able to make it easier for children. Writing should be introduced when children have started reading books. Writing has nothing to do with learning a language without knowing to read books. Yoga doesn't agree or agree?
Oh, I can't tell you how much grief I'm putting my child through because of this writing business.
Yes.
She is suffering, I'm suffering, and the teacher is making my life miserable.
I
But
can
now
understand yoga.
you are saying this, I'm so relieved that, this is just too much for a child.
You can start writing anytime yoga. It's important the child reads. Now, if I ask you to write a page on Olympics, how many of you can write in next 3 minutes and give me? सब लोग स्टैचू बन गए ना, हाँ बोल रहे हैं ना बोल रहे हैं. Why? Each one of you are multiply qualified. Why you can't write a page on Olympics?
Ma'am, first the knowledge.
Exactly. Good answer. Had you spent a lot of time watching Olympics regularly, you would have developed vocabulary, you would have developed knowledge, you would have developed what happens there. You will be immediately able to write a page. So how will writing happen without children having knowledge of so many things? आप बोलते हो गांव के बारे में एक ऐसे लिखो, अरे बच्चा पूरी जिंदगी गांव नहीं गया, कैसे लिखेगा? How many of you have not seen a village as yet? Luckily, you all must have. Okay, I'll ask you to write an essay on America. I can't write. So what children need is lots of listening in preschool, lots of speaking, and lot of reading. No writing. Once their reading is strong, they are independently reading books, stories, newspaper, articles, whatever, which can be done by a 5-year-old child very easily if the stress of writing is removed from their life. After that, writing A is not difficult because he has seen that letter A at least 1,000 times. Yes or no? आप एक किताब पढ़ लेते हो तो किताब या आर्टिकल या स्टोरी या कुछ भी पढ़ लेते हो, एक अल्फाबेट ए कितने 1000 टाइम्स आपके आंख के सामने आ गया तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो इम्प्रिंट बन गया ना, ए लुक्स लाइक दिस. उसके बाद उसको डिजाइन बनाने में कितना टाइम लगता है? आई एम सॉरी, इन ऑल माय वर्कशॉप्स यही एक्सप्रेशन आता है मेरे को कि हम लोग क्या कर रहे थे अभी तक. यस योगा, I am closing the session here with few questions. We'll continue with strategies in tomorrow's session. Yeah, Yoga.
Then why is an inability to write seen as a lack of fine motor skills? Or is it? Or is it not? What is it?
It is. Because your fine motor skills are not ready. They are so tender, no? They have to play a lot. This exercise is so important till age 5. Your body is still building till age 14. Your brain is developing till age 18. It can learn so much till age 18, right? So in preschool, they should ban writing. Wherever I go, I make a lot of noise of what you are doing is wrong. I make principals and management feel terrible wherever I go. I don't know what they do after that, but I at least make them feel they're doing wrong. Injustice and crime to children. But there is another side of the coin. Sometimes the principals are ready to change, the teachers are ready to change, but the parents want it. The whole trouble is there also. नहीं नहीं नहीं, मेरे बच्चे को रीडिंग, अरे रीडिंग राइटिंग आके करना क्या है? राइटिंग आके क्या करना है? रीडिंग आना जरूरी है. A 3-year-old child can read book if taught properly. A 3-year-old child can read. I have done all this. I had a preschool. I did all experiments. I was blessed to run it the way I want. That's why I know I have done all experiments to break these norms and proved that it can be done like this. Fortunately, I had a management who said, "ये औरत पागल है, ये कुछ भी करती रहती है. It's better not to tell her anything." Because ultimately, my aim was to give results. My process is different. So parent is very happy when a 3-year-old can read a book. Which parent will be against me? Tell me. Instead of till 7 years, you can't read a book. कहाँ पढ़ते हैं हमारे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल के बच्चे बुक पढ़ते हैं क्या? सुषमा जी नहीं पढ़ते ना. हमारे एजुकेशन का बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है? What is the aim of education? Tell me. Only one, to become independent learners. इतना ही है. If you go back and see the aim of education. अगर आप independent learner हो गए, do you need to depend on somebody else? You can pick up, and today especially in technology times, everything is available free online. बट आपको पढ़ना ही नहीं आएगा तो आपको क्या फायदा है ये सारा फ्री? सुषमा जी बताइए, हमारे देश का रीडिंग लेवल क्या है? आपको पता है? स्टैटिस्टिक्स क्या बोलता है? एनीबॉडी नोस?
मैम अभी लॉकडाउन के बाद अप्रैल में जो रिसर्च करके आया था, तो उसमें जो अभी लॉकडाउन के दौरान हमने जो मिला हम लोगों को, जो लर्निंग गैप आया मैथमेटिकली में, बच्चों का 84% जो उनके स्किल्स है, मैथमेटिकल स्किल, वो लो हुए हैं. एंड रीडिंग लैंग्वेज स्किल जो है वो 92% गैप हो गया बच्चों का. तो बच्चे काफी, मतलब ये चीज अभी जो रिसर्च हम लोगों ने किया और इसका पूरा ये पूरे इंडिया में हम निकल के आया था.
I have read this article where the reading ability of the child is dropped and doctors are now declaring them learning disabled. अब डॉक्टर्स के तो मजे हैं. Psychologists are making lot of money. Why? Because the parents are going with their children saying मेरे बच्चे में प्रॉब्लम है, पढ़ता नहीं है, पढ़ता. अरे पढ़ने का मौका था ही नहीं. 2 साल तक कौन से टीचर ने पढ़ने दिया किसी बच्चे को? तो देती भी कैसे स्क्रीन पर? How do you expect a teacher with 30-minute time to allow 40 children to read? कितना 30 सेकंड पढ़ेंगे क्या? घर पे हमने रीडिंग का प्रैक्टिस नहीं दिया.
वन थिंग और अभी जो निकल के हमारे सामने आया है, बच्चे इस दौरान जो थोड़ा बड़े बच्चे हो गए हैं तो घर में रह के उनके हाइपर हो गए हैं. मतलब हाइपर नहीं कहूंगी हम, क्योंकि हम लोग तो हाइपर वर्ड का यूज ही नहीं कर सकते, बट नॉर्मल जो टीचर्स हैं उनके पास हो कि मैम ये हमारा बच्चा हाइपर, ये ADHD है. आप ADHD बच्चे को बोल कैसे और लर्निंग तो असेसमेंट के लिए या नहीं, ऐसी कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. तो जबरदस्ती जब उनको असेसमेंट के लिए वो ले गए साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास, तो उन्होंने भी यही कहा कि नहीं, आपको बच्चे को एक प्रॉपर गाइडेंस की जरूरत है और बच्चे में ऐसी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है जो आपको लग रहा है. तो ये चीजें भी काफी निकल कर आई हैं कि पेरेंट्स खुद ही बच्चों को कह रहे हैं ये ADHD है, लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी है, या ये डिसेबल है.
नॉर्मल टीचर्स को कोई अथॉरिटी नहीं है किसी भी बच्चे को कोई भी लेबल से बुलाने का. इट इज अ क्राइम. The only person who can give a label is only psychologist. That's all. और किसी को उसको बोलने का भी राइट नहीं है कि बच्चा है, ऐसा है. Anyway, बोलने से क्या फायदा? फायदा ये होगा कि आप उसकी मदद कैसे कर रहे हो. That's all. बच्चे को किडनी प्रॉब्लम है, अरे उसको किडनी प्रॉब्लम है, किडनी प्रॉब्लम बोलने से प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होगा. किडनी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए क्या करना है, दैट इज द एक्शन. सॉरी, मेरा टाइम हमेशा क्रॉस हो जाता है. महिमा इज लुकिंग एट मी. So thank you so much for today's session. If you have any more questions, Mahima, are you posting a question form?
Yeah, I will. We will open the group. You can post the questions there, and
or
it will be addressed.
Or you want to upload a form, which will be easy to answer.
We'll upload the form.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So if you have any questions post this thoughts come, I'm open to questions 24/7. Tomorrow's session we'll start with answering your questions, or maybe close it with questions and teach you strategies, help you to learn strategies. All right. So I want a quick one-liner. How was today's session? Jaldi se bataiye. What was your learning for today's session?
It was an eye opener, ma'am.
Thank you. You all can come one by one on mic and share.
मैम वेरी वंडरफुल सेशन, काफी कुछ अच्छा सीखा हमने.
Ma'am, Jasmine here.
Yeah.
Concepts were more clearer now.
Clearer. Thank you.
Few concepts are more clearer, and the golden rules will be definitely be more helpful, especially the reading part, ma'am. That was something like the pair reading, or the teacher and child and mother and child. There was something very helpful for the to develop the reading part. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, same here, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Ma'am, I thought I had been fighting a lonely battle till now. I'm so glad I am coming to this workshop and finding that, you know, I have a few more supporters and, you know, dealing with this. Thank you so much.
Don't worry. I have created a platform for people like you. I have a platform called LD Remedial World, where I've uploaded 300 video solutions for parents and teachers who can join my system, become a part of my community, and learn consistently throughout your life. Because once you become a part of my community, you remain with me forever. And I keep adding more and more values and workshops every week to all of them who want to learn and bring a change. Yeah. So I'll talk more about that tomorrow. See you. Bye-bye. Good night and have a nice evening.